Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Always, and welcome back to Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Expert Mode Skyblock. In the last episode, we were working with magic. I do believe it was either the last episode or the episode before, I don't remember which, but we fought the guy Guardian and was able to get the Flugel Tiara and all of that stuff so that we could start getting a little bit closer to the Angel Ring. We literally just need one more Iridium reinforced plate, and that is not much more Iridium. So we have one piece, we need 3 more pieces, and that is it. So all we're really doing is waiting for more more UU matter. So that is kind of where we're at. So in the meantime, we're going to start working on something else. Something kind of minor, but at the same time kind of important, because UU matter is going to be a major source of basically everything. And you know what? Let's put this back. We're going to keep this for right now. I don't know how much use this is going to get, but we're going to keep that there for right now. And what I want to do is... Can I stand like right here so I can pick up that block? Don't care about that block, but I just want to open the bottom of that up so that we can access it, because what we are going to be doing is we're going to make a big reactor, a very small one, but a big reactor nonetheless. And in order to do that, we're going to need a couple of things, namely RTG fuel. And this stuff is not too bad to make. We do need a bunch of iron plates. So take a stack -1, and we'll get these cooking up while we do some other stuff. So, yeah, basically we need to get more power into our Mass Fabricator. And we currently have the best, MFSU is the best storage for EU power. So that is fine. We just don't have a lot of production. We have a good bit during the day, but at night, it goes down a bit. Something else that I should probably do is put a battery on there, a energy cell on there, but meh, whatever. We'll worry about that later. So let's go ahead and make a pellet of RTG fuel. So we need a little bit of plutonium, and I'm only going to take a little bit. The reason being, I don't want to use too much. Plutonium is actually going to be very important as we kind of continue on through this mod pack, both for the pellets RGT, and I was looking and saw, let's look at this. Let's just do it this way. Plutonium is also used for MOX fuel, which we're going to need a lot of, because it's going to give us bedrock, bedrockium rather, and that is required for not only awakened cores, which we're going to need quite a few, but also bedrockium drums. Is the actual stuff used for much? Green hearts, and that's about it. Okay, so we mostly need it for awakened cores. That is a nasty recipe. But yeah, so getting more awakened cores is going to be required for this guy because of the sheer number of draconic flux capacitors we're going to need. And we're going to need at least 5 of these. We want 5 of them because they are used to make the... actually, we're going to want like probably closer to like 10 by the end of the series, which is insane, but we'll get there. We'll get there. For right now, the plan is get the Angel Ring. Once we have the Angel Ring, what my plan is going to be is we're going to take a look at kind of the long-term stuff, and automate every system we can and make big, gigantic systems for automation best we can to do all that stuff. So, for example, sifting is something that's kind of a slow thing. I need to expand this dramatically, and we'll make nice big systems that work really well and all that kind of fun stuff, and it'll be great. So, now that we have the pellet of RTG fuel, what we need to do, let's go ahead and make the fuel rod. And we're only going to make one of these for right now. So we just need some hardened glass. And just go ahead and make 10 of that. Should not be a problem. We'll throw that in there. And I think I can go ahead and take off our hazmat suit. I don't believe we'll need that anymore. So once we have this, we're going to build a fairly simple reactor. And I'm thinking maybe teach the system how to make all this stuff. So that might not be a bad idea. So first thing is the Iridium fuel rods. We'll do that. We will need reactor casings. We are missing graphite, so we're going to have to teach the system how to make graphite. That is not a problem. It is literally just coal. So one piece of coal, and just for the sake of simplicity, simpleness, just for the sake of simplicity, we're just going to do it right there, and that's how we get graphite. So with those, alloy smelter, induction smelter, redstone furnace. There we go. And that can go in there. So now we switch this back. We'll get reactor casings. I can't make any of those yet. The controller I will do by hand because that's kind of complicated. This guy requires some casings, so we'll just put this in here. Tell it to make a casing and an extra piece of graphite. And then we should be able to do this. So there is the control. This is going to require an MFE, which is not terrible. We could teach that. Should be able to also craft one of those. The gold cable should also be pretty easy. And then the MFE itself. So just a lot of automation. I'll need to get some of this stuff kind of taken care of sooner rather than later, but let's get some more blank patterns. Tell it to make like 30 of those. And can we get an MFE? The only thing that we're not going to have available all the time is the energy crystals, but that's okay. As I need them, I will make them. I don't know if I'm ever going to automate industrial craft or not, just because it is a pain. It's not terrible, it's just annoying. It's more annoying than it really is worth. So we have at least one more piece of Iridium ore. Let's go ahead and pick that up. Put it there, and should make it a little bit more. So how are we doing on power over here? It's doing okay. Let's turn that on for a little bit. And so once we have all the Iridium, then we'll be able to make the angel ring, and that's kind of the point I'm waiting on. Once we make the angel ring, it'll be a lot easier to kind of expand platforms and whatnot, and everything in general will be better. So let that go for a little bit, and we'll come back to that in a second. So we should be able to make the power tap now. Blank patterns, put those in there. We will need the access ports as well. So I do not know how to make chests. We'll have to teach the system that. Does the system know how to make pistons? Yes. Alright, so we'll teach the system the reactor ports. And I believe that's it. So, yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and make some of this stuff. So reactor, we have the casing. We need the Iridium fuel rod. We're gonna need one of these. That's it. That's all we're gonna use because we're gonna do a pretty simple, basic reactor. So reactor fuel rods, control rods, whatever. We're gonna need just one of those. It'll take a second. We're gonna need one of the power taps. And we're going to need 2 of the access ports. So it will craft all that stuff up relatively quickly. And while we're waiting on that, let's go ahead and start making the actual controller. So we can make a computer. We're going to need more reactor casings. Let's go ahead and make like 10 of those. And then we're also going to need this pulsating chipset, which I believe is a repeat or a comparator. And redstone torches. 1, 2, 3. And sticks. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, a lot of what we need to do in the near future is simply we need to just get more stuff going. Things like automating this guy, the assembly table should not. It's not actually a difficult thing. We just might need to make another assembly table. If that's the case, it's not really that big of a deal. It's just something we have to deal with. This should be good on power by now. Let's just turn that off. Yeah, plenty. We're like 45%, so we just need a little bit more. Let me turn that off for a second. That is pretty much drained, so that's what I want to see. Let these guys gather up a bunch of scrap, and we'll go from there in a second. So, we should have pretty much everything we need. There is the redstone chip set. That's not what I wanted to make. I thought I clicked the right thing. They are the exact same color, so they look similar, so can't blame me too much for that one. But let's go ahead and try this again. So there's pulsating. So I think it was automatically making the redstone chipsets, and it automatically made the redstone chipset. So that was the problem. But whatever, we got it fixed now. So let's get the reactor stuff. We need all but 4 of those. We'll need this guy, we'll need this, and these 2. So let's go ahead and start setting it up. First thing is, we're going to set it up right here. So, reactor casings. Power tap will be... Did I really center it? I did. That's not good. Let's actually move it 1 over. And the reason being, it's going to make my life a little bit easier. So, Iridium fuel rod in the center. Control rod on top. The power tap will be here. Access ports on both sides. And then the controller will be in the front. This one will be inlet. This will be outlet. That is fine. So we're going to need what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 14 more casings. That's not too bad. It's a little expensive, which is why I'm making such a small reactor, but it should be good enough for what we need. Let's go ahead and make the controller first so that I can just make sure I have everything. And then pretty much the only other thing we'll need to do is decide whether or not we're making enough power to justify using a energy cell or not. So let's make the controller. There we go. And then reactors, we're going to need 14 of these. Now I'm going to want a couple of chests. Should be pretty easy. We're going to want some item ducts. And 2 is actually enough. Hardened servos will be fine. And I'm thinking we'll just grab a handful of Iridium. Shouldn't need all that much, but it is just enough for now. So, did I ever upgrade the machines over here? I don't remember. No. I need to upgrade these machines. That would help out a lot with speed. So I will worry about that later. We'll get to that point. So I guess there's no reason for us to come up here yet. Let's go ahead and start setting up the rest of this. So that goes there. One on this side, which let's go ahead and grab this reactor casing. Controller goes there. This guy goes here. Item ducts on both sides. This one is extract. This one is from the chest. And we'll dump all the Iridium in. And once the reactor is completed, it should fill up quite nicely. We are running out of power because I need to turn this guy on, and that should kick off pretty quickly and fill us back up. So that's good. Things I want to see. So we're running out of coal there, and honestly, if we run out of coal completely, that's fine. We don't really need all that much more ender pearls for now. We'll get back to that later. So let's go ahead and make the reactor and make sure it works. So this all goes like so. Really? Did I seriously miscount by exactly 1? Alright, we need exactly 1 more reactor casing. That's a bit of a pain. So we'll do 1 more of those. You know, we have all these uncommon treasures. I'm tempted to open them all. We have a whole bunch of heavy cream. We have a bunch of stuff just kind of lying around. Now something I kind of want to talk about just real quick. Once we make the angel ring, that is another achievement. If we go achievement tab and go to the actual thing we need to be at. RF tools, solar expansion. There we go. So we've got all this stuff, which is all the magic stuff. Got all this stuff. We need to get the Gendustry power module for bees. Bees is something actually I need to work on, and that's something I'm going to do a lot off camera just because they get boring. We need to have the angel ring. We need to have the ultimate solar panel, all of the creative stuff, and the draconic chest plate. So if I work on bees and actually can get the power module for Gendustry, and then we can start making apiaries and start doing a lot of cool stuff with bees, which will help us quite a bit. Gas tiers, for example. If I can actually click on the gas tiers, you can get from Soul Sand. 2% chance. Not too good. Ghastly bees will also give them to you. Now, this is much, much better than how we would get them otherwise. Other things is like fermented spider eyes. The spider eyes we can get from spidery bees. Mushrooms, we're going to grow those. We'll get to that another time. And same with the sugar canes. That stuff is actually going pretty well. But just trying to get all this stuff, it's kind of insane. I was looking at the Galgadorian blocks. We're going to need 28 of them. And that is a lot of stuff. We need 13,000 slime balls, for example. And if we look at slime balls, you can make them out of propolis and pollen clusters, raw jellyfish, which we could fish up. or mucus combs, which come from sticky bees. That is sticky, right? Yeah. You can also get it from mana infusions. That is another way we could do a cactus farm and just mana infuse it. So that might be an option. The problem with that one is mana production. Mana production is kind of slow, depending on how we do it. So there's options, but what options are going to be the best, I'm not entirely sure yet. So there are our reactor casings. We just need one. Now, do we have any more HV? We do. Perfect. Alright, so we are going to be sending all this power into the guy up here, and I probably should have moved it one more, but we put that there, it forms, and we can look at all this stuff. So it has a capacity of 4 bars, basically, of 4 ingots, so it should not fill up anytime soon. In fact, yeah, we're missing exactly 4, so it's not that bad. We can put that there, and please connect. Perfect. So how much power is this actually going to give us? It's not very much. About 250 RF per tick. But the thing is it is self-sufficient. It is, it will work all the time. Whereas everything else up here, other than this guy, is kind of bad. We are getting a net gain, and it's because that's off. So we'll just turn that back on, and we're still getting a net loss. I can always expand the reactor, and that's something we might do. But basically the idea is I want to come up with as many power sources for this guy as I possibly can. Might even do a bunch of 64 times culinary generators once we expand the farm. For we're probably going to stick with the extreme chili, but I don't know yet. I'll figure that out as I kind of decide what's going to be the best way to go about things. And that's kind of where we're at in this series, is we have a good bit of resources. We just don't have nearly enough to do the complicated, crazy builds that we need to do. So, with that being said, I really don't have much planned for the rest of this episode. I just wanted to make the reactor. That was kind of the plan, and I would love to get to making enough UU matter to finish up the iridium ore so that we can make the last iridium plate and go through with making everything for the angel ring and having the angel ring. That is ideal. Are we going to get to that point? I don't know. So let's take a look at, I guess the next thing we can look at is the fermented spider eyes. One of the big issues with this is mushrooms. Mushrooms require crop mutation. Netherwort, potato seeds, and mycelium. So let's go ahead and grab some stuff. So one thing is I want to break all this stuff, and we're going to eventually 10 the mycelium. Now I say, or not mycelium, but mushrooms and netherwort, I think would be a good idea. I do want to see, do I need netherwort? Let's grab one and see what it's used for. So it's how you get both mushrooms as well as some other stuff that I don't know that we'll need. And it is used for anything useful. I mean, obviously potions, but it doesn't look like much else. Purpura, which doesn't seem to have a use. Fire runes, which we're going to need some, but not that many. Vat for nutrient distillation. We can use other things, I do believe. And it is ingredient in the witchery stuff. But that looks about it, so we don't really need to 10-10-10 that. We will need to 10-10-10 the mushrooms. That's going to be a bit of a problem. So we need potato seeds. And we're going to need some crop sticks. And our watering can. So I don't have any dirt. Let's just come over here and grab a piece of dirt. And let's try to get the brown mushrooms. So we're going to need a mattock. And here is the issue. So if I plant down, not there, both of these guys, put the crop sticks on that, and that guy will get him watered. Be nice and good. Netherwort there cannot grow here. The reason is it is too bright. So F7, we need to actually make this dark. And it's got to be darker than that. So where is it getting light from? These guys cannot grow here. Now if I watering can you, will you grow? You can't grow. So the problem is light levels. Potatoes need certain levels, and netherwort needs the opposite levels. I believe the mushrooms also require darkness. So let's get some bone meal. A little bit of a trick with this is bone meal. Can't use it on something that won't grow, but that will. And then what we can do is knock out more torches until it says it can grow. And I guess let's go ahead and cover it. Turn our jetpack on. Cannot grow here. I wish I knew the growing conditions. Cannot grow here. Still can't grow there. What is your growing conditions then? I know I've seen this before, and it's kind of weird. Because I don't believe it needs, I don't believe it needs to be grown in the nether. It might. In which case, I don't know what we can do about that. I mean, we can go to the nether, that's not a problem, but I don't know if that's the issue or not. So, what we need is the journal. Agricultural's journal, or agriculturalist. Not there. So let's take a look here. Agricultural journal. And doesn't matter, but let's use something that we have a lot of, like those seeds. And we just need a book and quill. Which we can make. So there's the book and quill. We'll do that, and we'll use normal, actually cactus seeds. Will those work? Hey, they do. Perfect. So with the agricultural journal, we can put that in here, and when we scan stuff, well, if we scan stuff when it is actually like scannable, so let's get another piece of netherwort. It's kind of whatever. We can find out a lot more about it, so we'll get rid of that one. And by scanning it, we'll discover it. And this will give us a lot more information. So, netherwort, soul sand, brightness range, it needs to be dark. So I don't know. Don't know what's up with that. Because it certainly was dark. But the secret is... Oh, I bet if we do this and that, break that fence and put that guy there, will that make it nice and dark in here? So now netherwort should grow. Cannot grow there. Why not? Does it need to be taller? That could be a possible reason. It is at least light level 7. Hey, there we go. So it just wasn't dark enough. So we just get this guy to fully grown, and now it doesn't matter. Well, I say it doesn't matter. It still does. Sorta. So we put the mycelium down. We're going to put our crop sticks. And here's the thing. I believe this also has to be dark. But with both of these guys grown already, it doesn't really matter. So I don't think it has to be that dark, but we're going to go ahead and just expand this little building. And hope for the best. So it's nice and dark here. We'll just watering can this and see if we have brown mushroom spores. Perfect. So that's all I wanted. Let's light this up. And I just want to make sure we break this. We're going to get the brown mushroom spores. That's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. And we can put this guy in here and scan them. And obviously they're not very good yet. But that should tell us, yeah, they need relatively dark ranges too. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has to be dark enough for mobs to spawn. And that is a little bit of a problem with brown mushrooms. You have to have the area they're going to grow dark enough that mobs can actually spawn. Now this is actually kind of normal in the vanilla Minecraft as well. The light levels required for mushroom growth is pretty low, and typically it's low enough for hostile mobs to spawn in your farm. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make it so that mobs can't spawn. And the way we'll do that is by making it a very short farm. Short farm means nothing can spawn, and hopefully that will be the case. But it's also going to be automated. We're going to get another harvester and all that kind of fun stuff, so it's not too big of a deal. Either way, it's just something we're going to have to deal with. So let's put all of this stuff away. And I will get back to the brown mushroom spores later. So I will go ahead and tin those off camera. Hopefully that doesn't take me too long or anything like that. And 95, so close. Actually, are we close enough? But yeah, I will 10 those and all that kind of fun stuff. And it would be nice it would be nice once we have an automated farm for specifically mushrooms. So that's one thing kind of crossed off my list of things to worry about. Because that's by far the hardest part of getting the fermented spider eyes. Spider eyes themselves are not too uncommon from our mob farm. Our mob farm is very small though. On the bright side, it is a cursed earth. So if we look up the Galgadorian blocks, we need, like I said, let's just do 30 because it's easier. We're still going to need a lot of spider eyes, but I should be able to kind of complement that and deal with that fairly easily. Because that's the other thing, is I'm probably going to have to leave this map running a long time for anything to really happen. But ideally we'll get a lot of these systems up and running, and then I'll go work on bees or something, or some automation, and that will be enough to kind of let the systems do their thing. So do we have... We still need one more piece. Okay. And a quarter of the way there, so we need... let's see, it's 120, so it's 90. 90 more. Let's turn that off for a second. Let the scrap build up. We still have a good bit of power. We're getting a lot of power coming in. We are going to need to take the resident solar panel once we're done with that, but that's fine. So what else can we look at? Well, with this, we're also going to need gas tiers. That shouldn't be too bad. Eyes of Ender should be pretty easy. The hard part with that is the blaze powder. But we have a good bit coming in from sifting. We're going to get more from sifting as well. We need a lot of sifting because of the sand, so that we can make all the solar panels. And not these types of solar panels. The solar panels from solar expansion. These guys require a lot of, electrotine. And the only way I can really figure out to get that is through sifting. So sifting sand, we're gonna have to do a lot of that. Now, salt cactus seeds, can I use these? Actually, we're gonna use those to get cactuses, so that we can potentially get more slime balls. Not going to be nearly enough, but setting up a pretty quick and easy slime farm that way would be decently easy. I just don't know that it's going to be worth it. So our other options with slime are slimy saplings. We have a good bit of those, but automating those is not the easiest thing in the world. I don't know that the Ender.io farm likes them, but it's something to kind of keep in mind. So really a lot of what we need to do is just set up more systems. Now, we are going to eventually need to get draconic stuff. And most of this is not too bad. There's one that I thought took molten draconium. Maybe not. So, is it... Catacores aren't really used for anything, luckily. That would have been nasty. I thought we needed primal... Oh, we do need primal mana for some stuff. So this stuff is used for... where is it? This stuff. Mana dust. We do need a little bit of this for mob grinder, which I think we're relatively close to making. Draconium and XP. We can handle that. We just need the sword, which requires, wyvern stuff. Now, wyvern cores do require vibrant alloys. That's not... None of this is really that bad to make. It's just kind of annoying, and we need to set up better systems for it. So that being said, we will be working on that as we go. But we are so close that I kind of want to hang out and... Yeah, if it's at 25%, we need 90 more UU matter. So, what can we do? Let's take a look at our magic for the guilty pool. So I forgot to do more research. I don't want to do research on camera though. So the guilty pool, we need all of the runes, which it looks like we have all of them. There's 4, 1, 4, 7. There is all the runes. There are 5 tiers of these guys. We have all of those. We're gonna need a lot of Gaia Spirit ingots. Null Catalyst we have. Crystal Clusters and Primordial Pearls. And then the Wand. Which I'm working on the research. That's what the research I need to do is. Crystal Clusters require more Null Catalysts, which we can duplicate. Not too bad. Soul Shards, Bloodstone Bricks, which is pretty easy to do. And more Gaia Spirit ingots. So, none of that is too bad. Now, do we have Void Metal? We do have that auto-crafted. Now, something to take a look at, and this is something I'm not entirely sure. We look at Eldrick. We have most of the Epiphanies, but... Okay, we have the portal to another world, but we don't have the Eldrick Eyes. I need to figure out how to get the Crimson Rites. So this is a book that we need to get. Now... I have to figure out how to get that. I've read it before. This is something I need to do. Did we separate those? Yes. Okay, so for the most part, Thaumium, is that auto-craftable? Yes. So really the only thing I need to do with all of this is kind of automate. Ooh, that's something we can do. So... level emitters. We're going to want the Essentia level emitter. Now we're going to need a calculation processor in Salus Mundus. So let's go ahead and tell it to make one of those. And Salus Mundus we have, so we need a redstone torch as well. That's pretty easy. And there's everything. So we'll make these guys level emitters. Now, what we're gonna want to do is, if we look at what's gonna be the easiest way to look at this, I guess. Let's look at it through here. So, in order to make a lot of this stuff, we're going to need void metal ingots, which require the void seeds and metal. So darkness is something that, so darkness, alienness, we have a lot of alienness. Darkness and, is it void? Yeah, void are something, are things we're going to need a lot of, as well as for making the actual ingots we're going to need metallum. We have a lot of both of those, so I don't know if we need to automate that. And then for the wyvern cores, we need thaumium, which requires magic. And we need to just kind of make sure that we have a supply of all this stuff. And one way we can do that is through these level emitters. So let's just do, for example, magic. So Praecantatio. Let's look up that. Is it? Yeah, AE. So if we look at what gives us Praecantatio, Ender Pearls would be decent. Is there anything that's better? Not really. Blaze rods, but that's something that I don't really want to use. order shards would be really nice. But I don't know if that's something I'd want to use. Magic wax could be good. With a magic could be good, but that would require a lot of automation of other things. Ender pearls might not be bad, but we're going to use ender pearls for a lot of things. So let's actually use order shards, because those we can get from stone, and that's literally just an auto craft. So let's get an order shard, and what we can do is tell the system. Oh, how do I do this? Actually, I'm not entirely sure how to do this. Oh, I actually no. Never mind. Never mind. So I believe we can grab a glass vial, put it in here, and fill it up with magic. So that is what we need to do, I believe. Let's go ahead and sleep, because one, we're trying to get as much power to our Mass Fabricator as possible, and two, this rain is annoying. So what we can do is we can basically teach the system that, hey, you want to get, it would be a processing pattern. We're going to say, if you want magic, you need to use an order shard. Now, can we actually drag this here? We can. So that will give us 1. So let's... I wish there was an easier way to do this. But I guess we'll just click it a bunch until it goes down to 1. And what we can do is tell the system, I think this will work. Perfect. So Precantatio is made from magic. And I don't think we have any interfaces over here, so we really can't do anything with it. But what we can do is on one of these guys, set up a system so that we have a level emitter, and I guess it would be, we'd need a bus. So let's just destroy this last guy. That is keeping the coal, so that's fine. And what we can do is, I don't actually think we need this. No. So I'll put that back into the system. We just need some ME cable. And we will need, what is it? It is the, oh, it is an export bus, which I luckily have. So what we can do is we can just set up an export bus on the side of this guy, and we'll hook them up in a second, but basically we'll tell the export bus order shards. And there is a card we're gonna need, redstone card. So that's not too bad to make. I think that was a basic card. So we just need to do this. Calculation press. That'll take just a second. I believe that's what we need. Do we need a crafting card as well? Yes. And that also requires a basic card. So we'll use both of these. So we'll make redstone torch, and there's a redstone card, and then the crafting card is the other thing that we'll need. And basically what this is going to allow us to do is automate having X number of magic. And we'll need an emitter here. We can tell it that magic is the thing to worry about, and we want it to, let's see, if we put redstone always active without signal. So emit when levels are below. And once we hook this up, what we should see, assuming which we don't have enough channels, let's just run a line like so. It's messy. I will clean up stuff eventually. So as soon as this device comes online, you can see it's going ahead and putting in order shards, and it will do that until we have 100 ordo in the system. So let's go ahead and put that back, and that should work. Now I do want to get that Essentia level emitter, and we should probably scan it. So this is something we can do, and as you can see, it's going to go up until it hits 100. It's going to keep going through order shards, and then once it's done, it should turn off this light, and we're going to get a little bit extra. That's fine. We have extra, it's okay. It's not going to matter. We'll use it eventually, but if we come back to that in a little bit, you'll see that it is maxed out at about 100. Hopefully, if I set it up right. I'll need to make sure the redstone works and all that kind of fun stuff. But do we have all of our Iridium stuff? Do we have 90? We're pretty close. Let's go ahead and get most of this running. Turn that off for a second. And yeah, let's just keep going. So hopefully that all works. But you know what? An easy way to test this system, by the way, is let's go ahead and see. We are still emitting. Let's go ahead and put that down to 80. I know that I have at least 80. So if we take these out, we shouldn't get any more. Now if I bump it up to 90, we almost immediately get more until it turns off again. And if we put it at 100, we'll see more. So just put those in there. It's fine, like I said. We can do other level emitters. But let's see. We're at 94. So once this, you know what, let's drop this down to 90 for right now. I just want to make sure that it works if I put the order shards into the system. So this should not put any more order shards in here. It is, which means this is badly placed. I'm gonna have to do all that again. So what I think I need to do is just move that and put the emitter, like, we put this here, we'll put the emitter here and then connect those. Now I'm gonna rewire this and all that kind of fun stuff, so I will do that between episodes. Should not take too much time and should work. But what we can do is anything that we're going to be using, we can kind of augment our system so that when we want to auto-craft a bunch of stuff, we don't run into problems of running out of Essentia. Because our system doesn't actually know that it requires Essentia to do anything. And so the emitter plus the redstone card to turn on and off the export bus, plus the crafting card if we need it for making the item, is the only combination we need. So that is what I will I will clean that up and all that fun stuff, like I said, between episodes. So 1575, that is enough. So this should make the last piece of Iridium. We'll get all the other stuff. Let's go ahead and turn our jetpack on. We need to grab this guy. And doesn't have any RF in him. That is good. So, do you seriously need like one more piece? Was it 25% but not quite? Yep, there we go. Oops. Jetpack's still on. Alright, so now what we have to do is... Well, eventually we'll improve that. So that's one thing we need to do. But all we have to do right now is we make the Iridium reinforced plate, which is the last one we need. We put that here with the resonant redstone or resonant solar panel, and there is our angel ring. And that gives us a trophy. So the last trophy we got was August. Really? We've been doing this for over 2 years. Wow. So that is a thing. But hey, we now have angel rings, and that means we can fly at will without our jetpack. Now, I'm going to put the jetpack in here because the next time I go to the spirit world to try to find some wispy cotton so that I can make things and actually progress there a little bit, so that we can get the, what is it we need from there? In order to get the conjuration catalyst, we need focus will, which is brew of flowing spirit. So all of that stuff in the spirit world will give us the brew of flowing spirit, and that's gonna be a pain to do, but I can make most of the stuff here, transport it over through the ender chest. We just need to get good dreams, and that's the problem. So we have flight, we have creative mode flight, which means we can expand things. We can make bigger farms, power things a little bit better, and honestly, one of the next big things that I want to automate is tesseracts. The reason being is we're going to want to transfer power very easily, very quickly. Now, these are not cheap. We can actually automate the ender electron tubes, and I think we will. It's not too bad to do. It's not too easy, but it's not too bad. Teleporter is going to be nasty, but we should be able to automate the advanced circuits as well, and capacitors are automatable. Intricate circuit boards are also automatable. So I think that's going to be the next step, is starting to automate more machines and more machines and more machines, and go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know it was a lot of waiting, but sometimes that's what you gotta do. And unfortunately, this mod pack, that is going to be a lot of what I have to do. So apologies for having you guys sit through that, but next time we are going to start automating a lot more stuff and kind of working our way towards being able to make all those blocks of Galgadorian. So that's the plan. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!